Alright everybody, welcome to this edition of Nick and Dan Doing Shit. We're working on the Blue Bomber, my 1981 Chevy El Camino Royal Knight. Right now, Dan is down here. Up here, hang on. Here. It's a lot of light. It is Dan though, trust me. We're gonna come over here where he's not so washed out. Hang on. We could change the settings here. Maybe not. We're going to fix that on the next go-around. So, you look like a ghost because I think I got the lighting set a little weird. But, we're here working on the Blue Bomber, listening to our friends from Final Decline with their new album, Verify Rumor. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, I know. We're going to be working on the exhaust today, and bit by bit, we'll hit you with a couple of videos so you can watch our progress. We'll talk to you shortly.
Well, right now we just degreased the headers because you don't want any shit on there that's going to fucking stop your paint from sticking. And they come with these awesome little flanges on them, which are going to help us to reinstall them again. So now I'm just taping the flanges to the end of the flared end of the pipe so you can get as much painted surface as possible. And after that, we're going to prime them. And apparently, I heard you want to paint them orange.
I do. It's very true. It's going to be that orange right there. But first, we have to prime them.
What's prime?
And drink coffee.
Prime and coffee.
Fucking A. Alright. Alright, so right now Dan is priming the headers. Notice nice, even pulls with the paint. Make sure we get full coverage. All them fun little crevices. The neighbor's dog is saying hello from over there.
That's Harley.
That's Harley. And we're apparently he is a bastard. So we've already got the one header fully primed and ready to go. We've got it hanging in the shop. Dan's doing this right now. And then once these are done, we're going to let it dry. We'll take a look at it, make sure we got proper coverage. You want to get, yeah, that whole underside. So what we're getting ready to do right now is we're going to put a little bit of penetrating oil on the bolts down in here, just so that way it makes it a little bit easier for us to get that shit out, because these things have a tendency to corrode in place. I'll give you an idea where we're at. We're under the hood of the Blue Bomber, looking at the tops of the headers going into the engine. So we're going to get some spray on there and make some good shit.
This shit is the only shit the Navy uses. Okay.
Hey there, ho there, we're checking back in. So the game plan at this point is, while I continue to work up on top of the engine, as you can see, we have unhooked our spark plugs. We've gotten the brackets off. What Dan's going to be doing while I continue to work up top here is he is going to crawl under the engine with a Sawzall. We're going to cut off the old headers right where the last asshole welded them to the pipes. And then we will continue to work from there. Alright, so we're checking back in to let you guys know how we're doing. So far, we've managed to get the driver's side. Why is this not unhooking? There we go. We got the driver's side header out, as you can see. A lot of nice clearance. What we had to do in order to accomplish that, if you'll follow me under the vehicle for a moment, we had to remove the bell pan right there so we can give ourselves enough clearance. Now the other one is being kind of a bitch. We gotta make sure that we unhook the dipstick so we don't rip that out, and that would be really bad for those of you that don't know, since that has to do with your oil line and it would just pour oil everywhere. That's not good for a vehicle. So you learned something today. But other than that, we're making some pretty nice progress. We have the headers painted. You can follow me this way. We'll take a quick look at those, see their progress, because they're a nice bright orange. And look, there they are. See, isn't that a nice color right there? I think that's going to look really sharp in the engine. And one of these days, we're going to rip this sumbitch down and paint that engine blue, so they kind of look like a nice old Chevy. You know, what the car is.
He's got big plans.
I do have big plans. Because, you know, when you and your bass player both know how to work on a vehicle, and you get bored a lot, and you kind of have a sweet car with some sweet ass side pipes and stuff. Diamond plate for my dashboard. You know, you have plans. You see things a certain way. Alright, so we're back and we've gotten the headers completely out. The driver's side wasn't really an issue, but on the passenger side here, we ran into the problem that the starter, that's that bitch right there, was in the way. So we had to drop that. It was literally just 2 bolts, but if you do remove the starter, make sure you've either got really strong hands or a friend there to hold it up so it does not fall on your fucking face, because it's really heavy. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's deceptively weighted. So that right there is the starter. We have the solenoid up on top, which we also had to unhook. Usually there are 2 wires, and if you take a look, you can see that one bolt that's a little bit out. Another wire runs to that one from the ground, so we actually had to unhook that because they fished it right through where the headers were. Made it kind of an issue. So we pulled the dipstick out, unhooked that, and got the starter out. So right now we're just letting the paint dry. So what we have is 2 coats of primer on these, and then 2 coats of the orange paint. It is this flame proof, both brands, so that and then that right there, specifically made for headers because they do get really hot. You want to make sure that if you're going to paint them, I mean, it's a nice idea because one, it really does look cool. Secondly, it does give you a little bit of protection against the elements. You know, we do live up north here in us with Exham Priory, so we get all of the seasons. But either way, if you're going to paint them, make sure it is flame proof. It does get really hot, and the last place you want to get a fire is under the hood. Right, Dan?
Right.
It's a bad place. All right, and we will check back in a little bit later.
It looks like I just got to square up this cut a little bit, and then it's a straight shot.
All right.
I got to find a measuring tape. The other one might take something like this. Oh, fuck me.
No. Alright, so we're back. Nick and Dan from Exham Priory. We've got the new headers in. Nice orange. A little oily at this point because we're just covering grease. So we ran into a quick issue over on the driver's side here where we had a line coming off of the evac line, and it started running down. And right down there where you see that silver bolt, it was giving us an issue. It was giving us clearance problems, so we couldn't get this flush. So what we're going to do is we took out the old line, we cut it back down a little bit below that point. And because no fuel is actually running through it, more so a vent than anything, what we're going to do is find some more tubing like this, but for fuel grade, just on the off chance that any fuel does get in there. And we're just going to run that through, reroute it, so that way it still functions, but it's not in the way of the headers and the exhaust. Now, one other thing that we do have to do, let me grab a light and I'll bring you down. Maybe we even get to see the elusive Daniel in his natural habitat. Oh, there's Dan's feet. So what we now have to do, if we get under here, I'll try and show you. So there's the end of the header. Now as you see, this right here is the exhaust pipe. So we are going to have to go get ourselves some tubing and run it from cap there over to here. And that's an easy thing. It's just a matter of the actual angle that could be a potential bitch. So, this is Nick from Exham Priory working on the Blue Bomber, and I will check back in. Alright, Nick from Exham Priory back, and we got Dan over there. Yeah. We're underneath the El Camino. We are just about done. So we've obviously gotten the headers in earlier. What we did is temporary because we were unable to find the appropriate parts. Is we took some flex tubing, clamped that sumbitch right down at the bottom of the collector, and ran it back to the pipe. Now we got a little bit of a gap in there, but it's crimped down near the bottom, so we're not too worried about anything getting in or out. But when we get back under here in about a week, because we're going to hammer out the drum brakes on this, we'll put a little bit of putty in there so we can take care of any loose ends. So Dan's working on the last one, and as you can see, he's using some aluminum tape just to kind of help with a little bit of the seal, really fill that in where he's going to clamp it.
Because once again, the parts store didn't have the appropriate parts.
Yep. Thank you to the parts stores. We will not use their names because that would just be fucking rude.
That just never happens out. We work out that way.
Right. And up top, we also got bored and decided to put in all new spark plug wires once my phone focuses. There we go. Ran all new spark plug wires, new spark plugs. All done. So, any luck, if we did this all correctly and the spark plugs are pre-gapped like the guy at the store told us they were, and I believe the gauge told us they were as well, right Dan?
Yeah.
They were close enough at least. When we fire this bitch up, we shouldn't have any issues. And if we do, well, then this video will be longer. But if not, we will check back in with you next time we do a little bit of work on the bomber. Next time we'll be doing the rear drum brakes. So for those of you who have never worked on drum brakes or want to learn how, we'll make sure to advertise when we're going to be putting that video up, and you can check back in.
Don't learn how.
No, learn how. Always learn how to do shit. You should be able to do stuff on your own. So that way, you don't have to pay other fucking people to do it. Because that's a true story. Right, Dan?
Okay.
Just don't ever tell your friends that you know how to do it. Right, Dan?
Right.
Here, let's talk about the shows that we got coming up while we're sitting here.
Yeah. Grandpa's guitars.
Yeah, so Nick, Dan from Exham Priory, we got a couple of shows coming up we want to talk to you guys about.
We're opening for a couple of bands you might have heard of. Smile, Empty Soul, and Traps. And there's another band that's pretty fucking cool out of California called Toy Called God.
What's up, Pat?
Pat, what's going on? Beautiful fucking metal music. Which is going to be interesting because we're all kind of heavier bands and playing acoustic.
I know, we got us, those guys, we got Iron Soul, Ritual Walk. That's going to be interesting. I'm intrigued to see.
Valkyrie and our boys from the Nye just joined the bill.
Mitch,
So,
Dave, love you
man?
dudes. Leland, I really want to see what the fuck you guys are going to do. I'm intrigued. I know we were talking the other night.
Check out that new Paul Reed Smith guitar you got, man. You posted it up on Facebook and it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty interesting. That's on a Monday night, May 15th at the Mohawk Place in Buffalo.
We have like 4 tickets left.
4.
There's 17 apiece, so get a hold of us.
Yeah. But I know it's a Monday night, but it's going to be a great night filled with a bunch of fucking music. And it's going to be a super rare time to see a bunch of acoustic songs that we don't play acoustic.
Yeah, don't get used to this. It's going to be a once in a very, very, Very great wild kind of deal.
Great wild.
And after that, we've got June 9th.
Yeah.
At the Evening Star, we're opening up for Year of the Locust.
Yep.
They came around not too long ago, opened up for Puddle of Mud. And beyond that, this is a big one that we just announced. Do you want to tell them?
We're opening for fucking Doyle, man!
Fucking Doyle from the Misfits.
And Davey Suicide. They got Optic Oppression, us. Shit.
Think hard.
I'm thinking.
My phone's not here. I can't look. There are other bands that are on the bill. Dan's looking into it right now, but it's going to be awesome. That's also the Evening Star in Niagara Falls. We have tickets for that. $15 a piece. It's 18 and up. Actually, so is our trap show. It's going to be 18 and up. I know there were some tickets that are with 16 and up, but moving forward, it's going to be 18 and up. They'll still honor those tickets for the 16-year-olds and whatnot. Just make sure you got ID. And Dan is pulling things up.
Gotta find it. Okay, so we got Optic Oppression, Exham Priory, Crooked Generation, which are an awesome fucking band, and a band name that is kind of odd. It's called This, T-H-I-S. I saw them in concert when they opened up for Motograder. It's a fucking three-piece with 2 bass guitars, a female-fronted band, and a drummer, and they fucking rock, dude. So check them out.
And that's that. So that's going to be June 29th with Doyle, the Misfits, and Davey Suicide. Davey Suicide over at the Evening Star. $15 a piece. Get a hold of us. We have tickets in hand waiting for you. After that, since we're on that topic, I don't think we have anything for July. August, we're working on. I know that we just booked something with Good Bar and Joe Kent from the Think So Joe show, all WNY radio. That one's going to be a Good Bar September 23rd. After that, November, Dan? November at the Mohawk for Joe's birthday. I know there's other bands that are playing. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell people yet, so I'll keep that a secret. And then I believe we've got something special prepared for the end of the year kind of deal. I won't really go into too much details, but we're going to have a lot of fucking fun. And time for round 2. This is day 2 of working on the El Camino. Right now we've got the bitch fired up, sounding pretty good. Hello Dan once again, happy Sunday to you. And behind me we have the Elko running, Blue Bomber, purring nicely and a lot quieter than it was about 24 hours ago, right Dan?
Oh yeah.
So right now we are letting it run for about 10 minutes at idle, letting it cure. We're going to turn the paint cure a little more. We're going to turn it off, let it cool, and a little repetition in that aspect. So once it's all done, we are finished. Done. No more exhaust for the time being, which we're both very excited about. But again,
Very excited.
this is Nick and Dan from Exham Priory. Later. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click right here. See Matilda? Look right ahead. Click here.